All right, here we go with this week's, I guess technically it is 42523's Shrine of Secrets showcase discussion that we do every week. We're a day late. We've been getting over a little bit of a sickness here. You can probably hear it on our voice, but we want to get the content out just that way we have it out there, even if it's a little bit late. Uh, Late's better than never, right? So this week, we've got some interesting perks in the shrine. Our survivor perks that we have are these two: Calm Spirit, which is a Jake Park perk, and basically reduces disturbing crows or screaming by 100%. And then also allows you to cleanse, bless totems, and open chests silently, but it reduces the speed of doing so. So it's a little bit of a stealth perk there. And if you could guarantee you were going against Doctor every game, this would be an A plus perk. As it stands, it just doesn't do enough to really be something that you bring. You don't run into these sort of things all that often. And then when it comes to like woodland creatures and other things, you can kind of crouch, walk past them, and not disturb them anyway. So if you want it, it's there on Jake. You can get it pretty easily with blood points, but again, not one of our highly recommended perks. And we have another new one. We have a Renato perk, which is Teamwork Collective Stealth. We talked about a similar one to this last week, where these are perks that when you heal someone, or I think this one you have to be healed by someone else, then you get an effect. So with this one, you leave no scratch marks as long as you stay within 12 meters. Might get to a little bit larger when you get to the tier 3, the purple version of it, but just one of those things that sometimes it's really hard to stay that close to a teammate. And then the big cooldown of 160 seconds is a little rough as well. So cool effect, but if you're gonna try to play around with something like this, you've got some other perks to kind of help you be stealthy, whether it's Shadow Step, Boon Shadow Step, or it's Wiretap or some other things. So I just think there's better options there. So what we'll do is we'll grab our little handy dandy pen here. And with this one, we'll just kind of, we're going to put trash, but they're more very, very niche. I know, especially with Count Spirit. Sometimes when I do some custom lobbies with friends of mine, and I know they're going to play Doctor. We bring that along. So we'll bring our writing back up then. We're going to go over the killer perks real quick here as well. So we've got Trail of Torment Executioner perk, which is a licensed chapter. So if you want this perk, don't want to buy Executioner, it might be worth iridescent shards. But basically what it does is it grants you undetectable after damaging a generator until it stops regressing or a survivor is injured or put in the dying state. And then survivors see that generator in yellow, it triggers every 60 seconds. It's tough. Out of the perks that grant undetectable, you get some camping killers like Basement Bubba and Trapper utilizing some of them. Uh, but otherwise, Tinkerer is probably the only stealthish perk that gets used a ton. Plaything, I guess, kind of does the same thing, right? Instead of undetectable, it makes their survivors oblivious, which kind of same same effect, just different ways of getting there. So one that I can't really recommend. Play a lot of Executioner myself, so that's why we've got it tier 3 here. And then we've got another new one. We got a Skull Merchant perk, Leverage, which you get tokens every time you hook a survivor, and then it reduces the speed at which they heal. It works if they're healing each other, healing with med kits. If they're doing things like adrenaline plays at the end of the game, where you'd be getting enough of these stacks to really slow them down, or even inner healing, things like that, that kind of bypass normal healing methods, doesn't do a whole lot. And this really relies on you getting those hook stages to really slow things down. And if you're getting a ton, then it's one more perk. And if you're not getting a ton, then it doesn't do a whole lot. So it's one of those catch 22 kind of perks where if things go well, you probably don't need it. If things go bad, you're not doing well to really get any sort of value out of that. So this is one of those weeks, and we have them sometimes. We have some weeks where they're great, and then we kind of have these weeks where uh, even though we think these are all maybe a little step above trash, they're all kind of trash uh, or just not real useful right now. So probably would save this week. We might try to showcase a little bit of Trail of Torment, see if we can get some value out of that, or maybe even leverage killer perks this week are a little easier, I think, to try to play around with, show off. But overall, this is probably one of those weeks where you save those hard-earned iridescent shards and hope for better stuff next week. So we'll keep this short and sweet. If we do a video on either of those perks, we'll post it up in the corner here, so you guys can just follow that right after this one. But hopefully this helps you out a little bit. If you disagree with me, have any comments, please leave those. But again, I'm Smig. We're streaming a couple days a week, usually Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, and trying to get some videos, usually 2 or 3 out a week. So appreciate you guys stopping in. Hopefully it's a little bit educational, and hopefully we'll see you around in the comments or on stream. Take care.